Live. It's YouTube Live today. I hope that everybody is coming to watch what we are going to be creating. I'm just trying to get my camera just down a little bit here so that my head is not way up there. So if you are new here, thank you and welcome. My name is Joanne Rogers. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Central Alberta, Canada, and I've been designing with you in mind since 1999. And I love when you come in and you let me know where you're watching from. And if you share this with other people, other crafters who would love to learn a little, few little tips and tricks. That's how I want to say it. And maybe, just up their game a little bit. So find some easy things, some things that maybe just some little elements to change up your cards or your paper crafted items, just to make them wow. So that's what we're trying to do today. Oh, I need to just turn down my YouTube here. I can see comments on my iPad, so that's what I'll be watching. So please put as many comments as you would love to put in, and I may not be able to get to them here, but I will take a look at them later, and thank you very much. And certainly if you have questions about what I am doing or why I'm doing it, or if you would like me to show you something a little bit more than what I did, by all means, just go ahead and ask. And if I don't see it right away, I will take that into consideration and I will get back to you, I promise. Okay, so what are we doing today? I've got just a little bit of information that I want to share with you. There's a lot of stuff going on with Stampin' Up! Right now. It is crazy around here, but it is fun too. So I want to share that because you may have heard a little bird tell you, or if you're on my email list, that it's free shipping tomorrow. So I'll just tell you a little bit about that in just a minute. What we're going to be making today, we're going to be working with some retiring items so that if you want to get in on free shipping, you can double dip a little bit because all of these retiring items are at a discount. And so that means you get the discount and you get a further discount with free shipping. So I wanted to show you a couple things just in case they weren't on your list, or maybe they're at the bottom of your list, and see whether they need to move up a little bit. So as I said, I'm Joanne Rogers. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Central Alberta, Canada. And today is Tuesday, April 18th, 2023. And it's a beautiful day here in Central Alberta. So I am going to point you down to my desk and we are going to get going with some crafts in just a little bit. But while you come on, please, yes, let me know where you're watching from. I'm going to turn the camera right now, so if you tend to get a little bit disoriented with that, then maybe look away for just a moment. Okay, let me get it turned around here. And give me a heads up or a finger, not a finger, don't give me the finger. Give me a thumbs up if you can see that fine. And I can see that my camera is going to want to go that way. So let's just see if I can get it here. Okay, so I'm hoping that that's okay. Let me know if that looks good at your end and if you can hear me fine. And so what I want to talk about first is free shipping. So hello, Charlene and Rhonda, Terry, Carol, Karen, Margot. Thank you very much for coming, ladies, and joining in. And please be sure to let everybody know that you came today. And you can always watch this on the replay. I want to get this guy out of here because I want to save those for later. So we are going to be crafting and we're going to be making a little gift bag today, and we are going to be coloring it. But at the end, I have another surprise for the exact same gift bag that you might want to look at too, because it's totally different than how we are going to make it today. So free shipping, this only comes around every once in a while. So 24 hours starting tonight at midnight. So tonight, April 18th. So really starting at 12:01 on the 19th. For 24 hours, you can get free shipping on everything that is current with a $100 Canadian order. So what I'm telling folks is a few different things. It's a great time to stock up on all of those things you use all the time, like your basic white cardstock, your glue, your any type of adhesive that you want. We're currently out of the seal refills, but everything else is there. Your dimensionals, your embellishments, the things that you use all the time. Great time to pick them up. As well, ink refills if you need any ink refills for your Stampin' Pads. Or if you're thinking, well, maybe I should actually make the change from the old style, here I'm talking to myself, to the new style of stamp pad, because we've heard it from Stampin' Up! That if you have the old style and you buy a new re-inker, they may not work together. They may not be compatible. So we have heard that in just recently. At first, when they came out with the new pads, they thought it was no problem. But now they're finding that really it would be best if you had a new stamp pad and a new ink refill. So perfect time to stock up on that. But again, it's only 24 hours starting at midnight tonight, and it has to be a minimum $100 order. And the other thing, I was going to say, you can combine this with some friends. So get a couple friends together, and maybe you don't have a $100 order that you want to put yourself, and get a couple friends together and put that order in, or get a couple friends together and put in a party order, which is a $200 level, and then you get some more rewards from Stampin' Up! So really, it's a great time tomorrow to shop, and I know I'm going to be shopping tomorrow. So the best place to go is to this code right here tomorrow, and I'm also going to be sending out to my email list an updated time to shop email. It's www.designwithjo.ca/host APR, I guess, 23, HOSTAPR 23. And that will get you to my area. If you're placing a minimum $60 order, then you can use my host code. And please, you must have this host code attached, and then you get Sunny rewards from me. So there's all kinds of ways that you can double or triple dip here on the free shipping. The next thing that I want to tell you about is my new color clubs. So I have 2 color clubs that I am offering right now for registration. They'll both start in May of 2023. And what they are one is an in color club, and the other is a celebrate color club. And they are quite different from each other. This one, you don't do any card making. You get the PDF and you get a card from me, and you get all of the in color colors, 1 a month, and everything in the in colors. So I've had lots of great response to this in the past. These colors are beautiful. I wasn't so sure at first, but it did not take me long to realize that these muted tones really are beautiful, and they coordinate with so many of our current colors. The other club is where I'm going to take and have card making, and it can be to go or on a Zoom. So you can do it here. Well, it's all to go, I guess. Sorry. It's a to go, and I'll mail it anywhere in Canada. And you will have the cards for 3 projects, and we are going to mix and match some of the new colors, the returning colors, the in colors with the existing colors that remain, the core colors that we have. So it's a great way to sort of test out and see whether 1, you like the new color, or 2, whether it deserves a spot in your own stash of supplies. So those are 2 clubs that you want to get in on. And if you go over to www.designwithjo.ca/new color club, then you can register and find out a little bit more over there, like the costs and things like that. And registration ends for both of these on April 30th. Now, I'm wondering about that. Did I change that date? Towards the end of April. And that's so that I can get everything in, because this one starts at the beginning of May, and this one I want to get everything mailed out to you so that if you are across Canada, you'll get your supplies in time for the Zoom class. And the first one is on May 31st, I think. Okay, so that is everything that I want to tell you about the new clubs that I have going on, everything about color. It is a wonderful spring, colorful season, and so I'm excited to offer those to you. And the other thing, and I don't have anything here to show you. How about if I pull out the new catalog? So I can only show you the front, but I'm having two things. One, an open house for anybody here in central Alberta, and you can come and we'll play games and we will stamp and there'll be door prizes, your chance to get in on a raffle, and that is May 1st from 4 till 7 here in Red Deer. But I'm also going to do a catalog walkthrough, and the catalog walkthrough is going to be on May 2nd at 11 a.m. for those of you who can't partake in person. And so I have all kinds of things coming up over the next little while to get you excited about the catalogs. And just another note is that my catalogs are going to be going out to people that are in the mail today, and I want you to try. I'm really trying to get them in your hands so that when it goes live on May 2nd, you have them. And for other folks, they can be available for pickup starting next Thursday. So you don't want them too soon, right? You don't want them too soon because, well, not that these ever get boring, but you want to really be excited about it. But let's not jump into it too quick, because we've got a whole year to get excited about the things that are in here. And you know that you're going to see things that you love almost right away. For instance, I even have my pre-order. It arrived yesterday morning. I have not cracked the box yet. I just haven't had time to be able to do it, but I'm hoping to do an unboxing video with you in just a little bit. Okay, that is enough talking. So let us get into making a project. So what I wanted to do was, I often don't use my 3D items as much as I should. And I love them. It's just, I don't think about it because we're thinking about card making all the time. So this is called the Delicate Details treat holder, I think. Yeah, Delicate Details treat boxes, sorry. These are food safe. So they come in, they're a nice size, and there's 8 in a package. And right now, these are 50% off. So they're $7.87. So they're a fantastic deal because they're less than $1 each. And you can make a little goodie for anybody. And I've got 2 designs to show you with some examples. And we're going to make one today. So where can you find that in the catalog? It's on page 140, and it's right down on the bottom in the bottom left corner, right up against the spine of the book. And you can see here that they're white, food safe, and you can also see where they've made them on page 28. We're going to make them for you right now. We are going to use our blending brushes to do that. We're going to add some color with our blending brushes. So I'm just going to pull in one of our grid papers, and I'm also going to use the blending brushes. As opposed to, you could use your daubers here, but I want a little bit of a softer look for these guys. So we don't want to have as bold a color, I guess. So now, things to note about these. These are already pre-scored for you, so you don't even have to think. And they already have double-sided tape on them. So they are ready to go, and they're beautiful enough that you can, let me put a color behind there. Just poke any color that I can reach for here. Pale papaya. So you could put a color right in behind here, and it is just going to be beautiful. It would need to be at least 5 1/4 high so that you get the top of these flowers in as well. Let me make sure. Yeah, you can still get the top in there and you're not losing anything at the bottom. So that's one really simple way that you can make them. This is about 3 1/4 here. I think I measured this morning. Did I already forget? Yeah, 3 1/4 this way from the score line to the score line. So if you cut a piece that's 3 1/4 by 5 1/4, you can glue that in behind and you can have a great little box. And then you don't also have any holes in it. We're going to make it today where we have holes in it. The other thing to note is that there are pre-punched out holes where your ribbon is going to go. There's one on the front and one on the back. Okay, so I am going to use our bone folder, And we're just going to, I'm going to turn it over and get those out of the way for just a moment. And we are just going to fold the edges that have the double-sided tape on them just out of the way. We're going to fold this one in as well. And then there's another fold here. So there's a few different folds that we want to just make sure we're crisping up with our bone folder. That will just make them a little easier to go together when we're ready. We're not ready yet. We have to do a little bit of work to this box first, but I just want to do that first. I'm not going to do the front. I want that to lie as flat as possible. So I am just going to put that down there right now. Now I could put a backing in behind here. In fact, I think I will. So this is another piece. This is just a piece of scrap that I had, and it is 3 1/4 by 5 1/4, I think. So I'm just going to place it in there, just so that you can maybe see a little bit better where I'm going to be using my blends. Not my blends, my blending brushes. So I don't want this to move when it's on my grid paper. So I'm going to put a little bit of double-sided tape. Just find it here. And I don't want to put it on this part here because I'm going to be using my blending brushes there. So I'm going to put it on these 2 arms that sort of wing out, okay? And that will hold it enough. So let's go ahead and pick up some color. So I thought that we would go for some colors that were springy, and I wanted to stick sort of in the pinky, sort of corally kind of tones. And so I've pulled out Blushing Bride, Flirty Flamingo, and Sweet Sorbet. So we are going to put these all together. Blushing Bride is retiring, and it is probably our softest pink right now, but it has quite a bit of gray in it. So I know that there were many of you that thought, yeah, it wasn't the most fabulous color, but I actually got to like it quite a bit. Okay, so I'm going to pull in my pink blending brush. So I just put a little punch on the back so I know this is my pink one. And I can do certainly these 2 with pink. And then I think I'm going to pull in my red one for the Sweet Sorbet. So I've already got this. It's got a little bit of color in it, but it's not got enough color that really it's going to cause me a problem if let me make sure I'm up far enough, if I pick up some color. So it's got a little bit of light pink there, and that's sort of the color I'm going for. So I'm going to pick up my color, I'm going to tap it off in one spot, and then I'm going to just start lightly putting in a little bit of color. And I'm just going sort of all over the place. Pick up more when you need it. Now you're not going to see the color going on here quite as much as quick because I've got that pink in behind there. And that wasn't intentional. It just sort of happened that way. So you'll see how great this looks when we pull that pink out. So you want to sort of go all over with your lightest color. So we're going to get a little bit of coverage. Now you can go up and down if you're not pressing too hard. I tend to always go in a circular pattern. I like that circle because it's not going to give you harsh lines. It's going to make it really nice and soft for you. And I'm sorry if my table is moving a little bit. I'm really getting my whole body in the motion here. How many of you do that too when you are stamping? Here's a question for you. How many of you stamp or create standing up, and how many of you create sitting down? Okay, so I've got a pretty good coverage of my Blushing Bride. I'm going to go right into my Flirty Flamingo now. So I'm going to again pick up some of my color. Now I don't want to go all over the place with this. I'm just going to pick a few key spots that I want to have a little bit more color. And I'm saving a couple of those flowers as well for my Sweet Sorbet. Okay, so because we have some colors that will blend very nicely with each other, you don't have to worry too much about stopping and starting. One of my samples I have for you is going to show you one that has quite a mix of different colors in it. And I did it in exactly the same fashion as what I'm doing right now. Okay, so you just want to have a little bit of your brighter colors in there. I think I'm going to put just a little bit on this guy right here as well. And then we're going to go in with our Sweet Sorbet. And we are going to add a little bit more depth of color here. Now this is an intense color in comparison with the others. So you really want to make sure you tap off before this happens. Okay, so come in here. And if you're just joining now, I've got some samples at the end that I want you to see because we have, I've done two totally different things with with these delicate details treat boxes. And one can be really quite fancy if you want. So we're going to bring a bit more of our color down here. Now, if you get it over the score line here, I wouldn't worry too much about it because you're not going to see that anyway. I'm going to want a little bit at the top. And I think I'm going to come back in with a little bit of my Flirty Flamingo again. So this is a very ombre look kind of one. And then I'm going to show you another one with lots of color. Okay. I think that's probably got it pretty good here. Now we are going to fancy this up, of course. We're going to need I'm going to put our guys away here. Now, if you happen to have one of our blender holders, they will hold 9. And what you want to do is they want to face away from you, okay? And then there is a little sort of ledge that they sit in along the bottom. And I'm hoping that you can see that down there. Now, if you don't get it in that ledge, it will move around. So you want to make sure you're in that ledge and then just sort of carefully pick them up when you want to use them. So I'm just going to put those out of the way. Okay, so let's pull these guys back in. So now we're just going to put this together. I'm going to take off that tape, use it for another purpose. And then we're going to put this together. So now let's see if you can see this. You can see how pretty that is when you have the white in behind it. Okay, so here's how you put it together. These guys go in. These long ones go in, and they sort of cover up the inside of your box. Then what we're going to do is we are going to take the backing off each of these, and we are just going to line them up like that. So we'll start at one side. And just, you can take your pick tool if that's easier for you, or a fingernail, whatever is easier. I'm going to take both the front ones off at the same time, and then I'll do the back ones after. So now I'm just going to pull this in. Okay, I'm going to flatten this off. So I'm holding the bottom part with my fingers, and I'm going to go in right up to where the edges are. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, except of course we're a little bit backwards, right? Because we're going the opposite way now. Well, hard to get my fingers in the same way when you're right-handed. You have to be ambidextrous. So then we're going to do the same thing with this side. We're going to take off your adhesive. So it's nice that you don't have to put any adhesive on here yourself. And this is sticky adhesive. So let's do the same thing. Push that in. Line it right up with the edge. Oh, do not put it on top of your grid paper. Just try and get that off. I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue on there just so that it's still going to stick. Make sure it's underneath and then put it on there. So if you do happen to stick like I did, that's an easy way that you can just get rid of it. So poke out our holes here. Okay, and then we are going to decorate. I'm going to push these guys out. There we go. Okay, so there it is. So for somebody who likes pinks, that's sort of a great pink thing. So let's do a little more work here. So I'm going to use Sentimental Park. Now here, I want to show you this. This is what's left of that piece of paper after you have created your inside. So when you do this, you can use this for a card. Okay, so you're going to get 2 projects out of 1. You could even use this as the tag if you wanted for the bag. I'm not going to today. So we are going to use Sentimental Park. So this is currently as a bundle and it's 10% off. Come May 2nd, this will no longer be 10% off, and it is a great bundle. It's got dies that are fabulous. We are going to use this big one today and a variety of the smaller ones. And then we're also going to use, there's so many different words that you can combine for this one. We're not going to use the image stamps because there's a lot of images going on here, but we are going to be using the just for you, so that it is a pretty generic piece. Okay, so I'm going to put that over there. Then we're also, let me pull in and we'll do that first. So on my tag is going to hang like this. So there's that tag. And so it is cut along the edges, and there's all the little sort of, it's a solid flowers and then some detailed flowers. And that's the same on the top or the left and the right. We are going to have our tag go this way. Okay, so that's why I didn't use some of those other words because they were a little bit too long. So we are going to be stamping just for you. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. And we are going to stamp it in two colors. We're going to stamp it in the Flirty Flamingo, which is I'm going to start with the U. And why I'm starting with the U is because it's the bigger stamp. So I want to get it lined up and nice and straight. I'm going to try and do this, get it in the right color. And I'm going to try getting this without getting my head in the way. And I'm sorry if it is. Stamp straight down, straight up. Try not to rock your stamp front and back or side to side. And then we're going to go in, make sure it's right side up, and we're going to put the just for you. And what's great about the photopolymer stamps is that we can see right through them. Now, I might have put that down a little too early. It's not bad. It's a tiny bit off, but I'm not too worried about it, and I don't think whoever receives this bag is going to be too worried about it. So we are done with our stamping. Just put all of that stuff off to the side. Now we're going to do some decorating. And I'm using the In Color Glimmer paper. Let me pull this out of here. So the In Color Glimmer paper is also on sale at 60% off. And there are 4 sheets of each color. So these colors are staying in the catalog for another year. So we have Starry Sky, Sweet Sorbet, Tahitian Tide, Parakeet Party, and Orchid Oasis. And what's nice about these is that they're not just those colors. So if you go into the lighter tones, you'll see that it's actually quite pinky here. Here, it's almost got a yellow sort of tone to it. So when you have the ombre look, you can get the really dark that is the intensity of that color, or you can go a lot lighter, the whole gradation of color here. So these are still, I checked just before I came on, and these are still available. They're $6.60, and you get 4 sheets of each color. So 20 sheets for $6.60. It's a great deal. Now I want to show you what mine look like, because these are only a couple left. I tend to put all of my scraps in, and they sit in the box here, and I've got a whole whack sitting out over there so that I can use some of these little tiny pieces. Okay, I really want to try and get the best value out of mine, so all the little corners and all the little insides are what I use. I hope that's what you're doing too. So I've cut some of these out already. So I have some of the in color, I have a little bit of gold, and some of those flowers. I just want you to see how many different shapes and different sizes there are. So I don't know if we're going to use these Parakeet Party ones or not, but I think we are going to use the Sorbet ones. Now what's cool about this guy here is that this one is this one. So on this one though, I have double-sided adhesive backing, so an adhesive sheet on the back of this. So if you're careful, you can use it as it is. The backing holds it together. You can see where all the cutouts are. I don't have backing on this one, and so I was able to get it in an outline. This one, because I have backing, then it is going to stick together. You just need to be a little bit gentle with it. And I've got it, I have another design that you're going to want to see with that too. And then we have some of our little guys here. So because we've gone all one color here, we could use some of these colors on top of it, and I think it will be just fine. Okay, so let's start putting these together. I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet. So what's great about your silicone craft sheet is that it will take glue. So I have a little bit of glue here. You can probably, I think you can probably see it. It's sort of shiny. And then when it's dry, you just take your finger and it rolls right off. And then you can add more glue to it. So we're going to use some mini dimensionals. I'm going to use our mini dimensionals for our bigger ones, and we are going to just lay some of these on top. Now it's hard to see on the glimmer ones, but there are little embossed pieces here, or little embossed markings, and I'm pretty sure you probably can't see those on the glimmer ones, but here you can see it quite well on the gold one. And so you are going to get some of those some of those things happening. So let's just do a little bit of placement here. Maybe we'll do the gold guy down here. Put that one underneath. Let's see if we want just some little blue ones. And all I'm doing is trying to figure out where I want my flowers to be. I'm also thinking about threes, odd numbers, so 3, 5, 7, 9, so I don't have more of, I have something that's pleasing to the eye. So that might be enough. Let's see if we think that it needs the green instead. Well, the green is quite pretty, isn't it? Let's see, maybe we will put a green one in there. And we can always put in more of the little ones. So I'm going to go like that, I think. And I'm going to glue those down. And you'll see this is quite different than some I've done already. I think the big ones we are going to put on with a mini glue dot. Not a mini glue dot. A mini dimensional. So I'm going to put that right over top of the inside. Just one dimensional will do ya. This guy here, we're just going to glue down over here. So put in a little dab of our glue. Take your pick tool with the putty end and pick it up and just put it on. It will take just a minute for that to set up, and we can still move it while it's setting up. Take the backings off of these guys. We're going to put this down here. Whoops. And then this one, they are going to overlap. Now we're going to put something in the middle there, so don't worry about seeing the dimensional. And I think probably we're going to dimensionalize these guys too. Now, one thing you might want to do is just put a little layer of glue on the back of that flower, just so that we don't have the backing fall out, because that's the one that is meant to be this open line one here. So we're just going to put that one on there too. Oops, upside down. Now we're just going to carefully take that off so you don't get glue all over your fingers. And we're going to put this guy on first. And then we're going to put this guy on. Again, be careful that you don't get glue all over. And I sort of like that you get two options here. You get the option of having an open line or an option of having the closed with that detail. And let's sort of play with the blue. So let's put a blue here, and maybe let's put one over here. I want my bigger blue to be at the top, I think. Whoops. So we're just creating a little bit of a bouquet here right now. And I think maybe I'll put that little one right over here. We could also put him on with the dimensional, but he's going to overlap just slightly there. Okay, so I think we're done with that. Excuse me. And that is going to sit right on top of our bag like this. So let's think about what we want to put onto, what we want to use for ribbon. So put this stuff here. So I've got two ribbons here. I have the Pale Papaya, which we could go with, but I was thinking I was going to have a little different look. I think we're going to use the Sweet Sorbet, which is the current in color, and this is actually called Metallic Woven Ribbon. And I'm going to take probably about, 17, 20 inches or so, and just give yourself a good amount of that. We're going to fold it in half, and we are going to put it through the holes. So we're going to go from the front to the back and around. Now, of course, you would put your goodie in here, so you can put food in there, you can put all kinds of little treats. What kind of little treat would you put in there? Put it into the comments so that we can see. And I'm just going to now take this and I'm going to put it through the loop. Okay, so I'm actually going to fold it so it's through the loop so that it's sort of tied. Okay, and then we're going to just knot this sort of lightly, not too forcefully, just so that stays together. Okay, so now what we can do is we can put this through one of the holes in our die itself. So let's take these two ends. And I did it differently on the other sample I'm going to show you so that you can see a couple different varieties. Poke that through those holes. Hold your mouth just the right way. I'm going to use my take your pick tool. Lay it there, take your pick and poke it through. And then we're just going to turn that into a bow. And this ribbon is so light and easy to work with, even if you happen to have a little bit of glue on your fingers like I do right this moment. Okay, so you can make that as big or as small as you like. I think I want it just a titch smaller. Okay, so just something that's going to fancy up the front a little bit. Now let's look at some embellishments. So I have some of these flowers. So these are the loose flowers and they are also 60% right now. They are $4.10 and you get 60 of them. So they are a great deal. So I'm going to pull in the polished pink ones because that's still keeping us sort of in our color families. Okay, so we are going to add now a mini glue dot to the back. So you take it right to, so Barb is saying she would put a package of hot chocolate in here with some mini marshmallows. That would be great. So let's put that guy on top there. Let's see, do we want some of the pale papaya? Is it going to look okay? Or is it going to have too much color? Well, I think we probably could get away with it. Let's see what the small one, I don't think I want to put purple on here, but let's try these guys. Yes, I think I will do that. So I'm going to put, even though that's still got a little bit of sticky on there from the mini dimensional, I'm going to put a little dab of glue on top and I'm going to pick up my flower with the putty end. I want it to be facing me though, the putty end, and I'm going to place that on top. Now I could have done this before I glued this on. That might have been a good thing to do. And let's put one more small one if I have. I do have one more small one there. And let's put it, maybe let's put it here. Or do we want a big one there? Small one. I think a small one. And that one upside down. Now you definitely, because we're putting that on top of glimmer paper, you definitely want to use your glue there. Your liquid glue. Don't just rely on adhesive backing or even your glue dot. I would put liquid glue just to finalize it. Okay, so there is our project. So some of our fresh in colors from this current year and our delicate details package. So then you just put your item in there, some chocolate, some homemade candy, some cookies I think would be great too. As Barb says, some hot chocolate. So here's another one that you might like. So this one has more color going on with it. So some of the colors, I think I have Daffodil Delight and Mango Melody, which is no longer available. If you don't have that Mango Melody stamp pad, sorry, you are out of luck. This here is, I think that is blushing, Mary Merlot, actually. This is Mary Merlot. So when you go really light with it, it gives you that color. I think the Mary Merlot pad is still available. This is Orchid Oasis here, and you can see that you can get quite a colorful look to it. And then I have a tag that I have cut out just out of vellum. And I've used the Peaceful Moments stamp set, which is still available. I'm surprised it's still available because there's great sayings in it. Do I even have it here? I think it's $29. I don't have it here. But it's got some great sayings. So I use StazOn on top of vellum. And then I cut some of the Shaded Summer also out of the glimmer paper. And I cut it out of vellum too. So there are two different dies here. These dies are still available, but the stamp set is not. And then I colored some of our iridescent rhinestones. So you can let me know what color appeals to you. Oh, because it's laying down, it doesn't want to sit. But here's another totally different idea. So this idea is like an elegant theme. Okay, so here what I did when it was laying flat is I patted it all over with my Versamark pad and then lifted it up and then sprinkled different color embossing powders on it. So I have silver, gold, and copper on there. And then I used some of our brushed rose gold and gold paper, specialty paper. This is 6 by 6. And so it says exactly the same thing. And I also used some of the rose gold ribbon and tied it on with the elegant trim. So if you're going to a wedding, it's a great idea. You could put a little gift card in here or money if you are so inclined to provide that. And it just is a real way that you can immediately amp up your little gift. So I hope that that gives you a few ideas for these little treat bags. As I said, they are 50% off right now. So they're less than $1 each. They're quick and easy to put together. There's all kinds of ways that you can decorate them so that they have your own personality. So thanks very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. And be sure to follow along on my VI Peeps group, which is over on Facebook, Design with Jo VI Peeps. And because we're going to be picking what we are going to be working with next week on our Facebook Live. So don't forget, free shipping tomorrow and this host code, and we are good to go. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Enjoy your paper crafting and enjoy the sun. Bye-bye.